where someone orders 3 fish cakes from an auntie at a small bookie shop. The place is lively, crowded with people who have gathered to eat, the aroma of street food filling the air. In the middle of this everyday scene, a young woman arrives holding a camera, clearly vlogging. She introduces herself as a new YouTuber and asks for permission to film herself eating there, making it clear that only her face will appear in the video. The shopkeeper, unfamiliar with this kind of request, reacts with curiosity, remarking that they have never seen anything like this before and wondering about her channel. She explains that her channel name is Scratch Off Lottery Ticket on YouTube. It is then revealed that she is not recording privately, but is actually doing a live stream. Because filming inside the shop is not allowed, she gets the food to go. She notes that noodles tend to get soggy quickly, so she decides to start right away with a big bite. She devours the noodles enthusiastically and reacts with genuine enjoyment, finding them really good. As the live stream continues, comments begin to appear. One message thanks her for $2,000, while another questions whether she truly wants to do mukbang with a body like hers. The commenter mocks her appearance, asking who would even want to watch a fat person eat and implying that it is no wonder she is only a small-time streamer. The female protagonist laughs it off at first, brushing aside the insult. She responds confidently in her own way, suggesting that people who criticize her should not eat as much as she does if they cannot handle it, and telling them to try looking like her. She proudly calls herself a very healthy pig, emphasizing that she is losing weight in a healthy way while working out, reassuring viewers that there is no need to worry about her. However, the comments grow harsher. People continue to insult her, telling her she should get plastic surgery and ridiculing her appearance. Once again, she tries to brush it off, deciding that she has had enough of noodles and suggesting moving on to eat a hot dog. Even then, the mockery does not stop. Viewers sarcastically remark that, as expected of a pig, she is still stuffing her face after hearing all those comments. At this point, she finally reaches her limit and abruptly ends the live stream. Left alone, she begins to question herself. She wonders if she really ate too much and notes that her stomach feels tired. She reflects bitterly on how much people seem to love picking on her just for eating, even though she is on a diet and did not even put sugar on the hot dog. Despite everything, she admits to herself that she could look pretty if only she could lose weight. A deeper doubt surfaces as she wonders if she is truly just a small creator because she is fat. She resolves that this year will be different and decides that she will succeed no matter what. For her, it is time to diet seriously. The narration then introduces her formally as Yoonji, a small-time YouTuber. A system-like display shows her YouTube income for the month as $8,990.00. For someone like her, who cannot secure a stable and decent income, this amount is still significant. She works only part-time, and this money is important for her survival. The scene shifts to her workplace, where a very petite woman struggles to pick up heavy bottles. Yoonji steps in to help, telling the petite woman that her shift is already over and that she should go home. The smaller woman worries that the bottles are extremely heavy and that she might hurt herself, but Yoonji reassures her. She even jokes internally that the weight is actually perfect, like a barbell, and seems unfazed by the load. With that, the petite girl leaves. Before going, she also leaves behind some snacks for Yoonji, explaining that a customer had left them for her. Yoonji notes this and accepts it, thinking that it makes sense. Later, Yoonji notices a customer who seems reluctant to interact with her. She calls out to him, asking if he is looking for something. He reveals that he recognizes her as the YouTuber known as Unscratched Lottery. This revelation shocks Yoonji, and she immediately wonders how he could possibly know her. He clarifies that he only thought she looked somewhat similar at first, but then admits that he has seen her live streams a few times. This moment fills Yoonji with unexpected happiness, as it is the first time she has ever met someone in real life who watches her content. The man offers a small treat as a casual gift, downplaying its significance. When Yoonji sees it, she realizes that it is a cake and is taken aback, wondering how she could accept something so expensive. However, he then drops an unexpected truth by explaining that the cake was actually meant for the morning shift girl. After wishing her a good day, he leaves. The moment sinks in, and Yoonji is overwhelmed with embarrassment. She lightly smacks her head against the wall, thinking about how awkward and humiliating the entire situation was. She reflects bitterly on her own thoughts, wondering what she was even expecting in the first place. There was no possible way that the cake could have been meant for her, and realizing that only makes the embarrassment sting more deeply. Just as she is lost in that spiral of self-criticism, her phone suddenly rings. She looks down at the screen and sees a message asking if she can cover someone's shift tonight because an urgent situation has come up. At first, she replies that she cannot. However, when the follow-up message mentions double the pay, her resolve immediately crumbles, and she agrees without hesitation. The scene then cuts to a hotel catering venue. Everyone around her is visibly shocked, not because of a mistake, but because of how incredibly well she is handling the trays. Her movements are efficient and confident, and her work performance is flawless. However, beneath that competence, she is struggling. The uniform she is wearing is far too tight, the buttons pressing painfully against her body and making it hard for her to breathe. She wonders why the workplace cannot provide larger uniform sizes. One wrong move, she thinks, and the fabric will definitely rip apart. Because of that, she forces herself to be extra careful with every step. As if the situation were not stressful enough, she realizes that today, of all days, happens to be the day when famous YouTubers are gathering at the venue. She recognizes names like Rocket Joy and Chewy, and recalls the rumors about their monthly earnings reaching tens of thousands. Jealousy creeps into her heart, and she wonders if she will ever be able to stand among them one day as a successful YouTuber herself. The thought feels distant and almost impossible. Suddenly, anxiety strikes her, and she instinctively hides her face. A fearful thought crosses her mind about being recognized, but she quickly reassures herself that no one would notice a small-time creator like her. The idea seems ridiculous. However, that fragile sense of relief shatters when someone suddenly shouts out a comment about a short, round girl. She looks back, startled, trying to understand what was just said. At that moment, she notices a very handsome man standing nearby. People around him begin to murmur, openly admiring his looks and calling him incredibly attractive. Yoonji recognizes him immediately. It is Joram, and seeing him in person, she admits to herself that he looks even better than on screen. She briefly thinks that taking this shift today was a good decision after all. Before she can gather herself, someone joins Joram and accidentally bumps into Yoonji. The collision sends her tumbling to the ground, trays and items scattering everywhere. To make matters worse, one of the buttons on her uniform pops off. Pain shoots through her ribs as she lands, and she sees the button lying on the floor in front of her. Her stomach is exposed, and panic surges through her. She hurriedly covers herself as murmurs spread through the crowd. People whisper about how her button popped off and how embarrassing it must be. In the midst of this humiliating chaos, someone remarks that they think they have seen her somewhere before, questioning whether she might be a YouTuber. Before the situation can spiral further, a jacket suddenly flies through the air and lands over her, covering her. She looks up in surprise and sees a man asking if she is all right. This man is Seojin, and his presence immediately draws attention. The scene cuts again. She is now sitting with Seojin, still flustered. She reflects on how, if it had not been for him, she would have died of embarrassment on the spot. She jokingly thinks that the space was far too small, unable to handle all her fat and muscle, and that they really should have provided a bigger uniform size. Gathering herself, she stands up and thanks him sincerely. She also tells him that she will wear his so-called pathetic little shirt for now. Her words take him by complete shock. The shirt, she learns, is a limited edition item that is now impossible to buy again, and the idea of it being called pathetic, or potentially ruined, should have been upsetting. Yet he reacts calmly, and says that he is completely fine with it. Realizing what she has said, she immediately apologizes. Suddenly, a group of other girls arrives, their attention immediately drawn to the man standing there. They excitedly speculate that he must be a YouTuber, insisting that his voice sounds exactly like someone they know. They wonder aloud if he is that popular generator YouTuber. This catches Seojin completely off guard. He begins to sweat, clearly flustered, and internally braces himself, knowing that this situation is happening yet again. He firmly denies being that YouTuber, but the girls are not convinced. They crowd closer, questioning why he refuses to do a face reveal if he truly is not lying. As they push their way toward him, Yoonji is shoved aside without a second thought. The girls accuse him of pretending, claiming they have been watching him since the days when he had only 1,000 subscribers. They insist that they know his voice perfectly well. They even add that they are currently on a diet, but watching him cook completely kills their appetite, which makes his content perfect for them. They gush about how good-looking he is, and ask why he would hide his face, jokingly wondering if he is maintaining some kind of secret muscle nerd persona. Completely absorbed in their excitement, the two of them start taking pictures with him. Meanwhile, Yoonji quietly walks away toward the women's changing room. As she moves, She reflects on how strange it is that she momentarily forgot how close he is to her world, simply because they were standing together. He is a popular YouTuber after all. She cannot understand why people are so obsessed with his odd, mysterious persona, but she brushes the thought aside. Just as she is about to enter the room, she hears voices nearby. She overhears someone talking about seeing Yoonji earlier and calling the situation painfully embarrassing. They comment cruelly that her clothes looked like they were literally bursting at the seams and mock her by saying it would be shameful not to lose weight when she looks like that. They laugh, pointing out how sluggish and lazy she seemed. Those words sink deeply into her chest. The scene shifts to Yoonji walking alone, her steps heavy. She begins to question herself, wondering if she really does look sluggish and lazy to others. She tells herself that it is not true, that it is not as if she has never tried. She has always loved food, and because of that, she has been on the chubby side for as long as she can remember. Even back when she was younger, whenever she ate, her mother would come by and ask if she was really eating again. People used to comment that every time they saw her, her face looked rounder, like a full moon. They would point out her calves, saying they were way too thick. Their words used to cut deeply, even when they pretended to soften them by saying she should not take it the wrong way, that it was just a waste of a pretty face, and that she should really go on a diet. There was a time when she truly tried. She went to the gym diligently. While watching other people eat pizza, she forced herself to eat salad. She pushed herself through workouts, even pedaling away on exercise machines with determination. Despite all that effort, she saw the number on the scale go up instead of down. She gained 4 more kilograms. One night, she was furious and frustrated, unable to understand why she was gaining even more weight despite trying so hard. She wondered if she was doing everything wrong. Desperate, she searched online, typing that she wanted to lose weight fast and become skinny as soon as possible. That desperation led her down a dangerous path. She started taking pills while continuing to push herself at the gym, a combination that eventually sent her to the hospital. Now as she walks, she questions everything. She wonders what she is even doing all of this for. Is it for other people, or is it for herself? Most of all, she wonders whether she can really continue living like this forever. She cannot even remember the last time she felt truly happy. The most recent moment she can recall is when she simply wanted to eat something delicious. With that thought, she begins to cry, admitting to herself that she only wanted to be skinny too. Yet she knows this cannot be rushed. She understands that she cannot destroy her life or her health, and she firmly resolves that she will never do anything reckless like that again. If she is going to lose weight, it has to be done slowly and healthily, through proper exercise and care. Just then, her eyes land on an ATM machine. She remembers that she needs to pay her rent. As she enters the ATM room, she wonders where her card is. When she finally takes it out, she notices something strange written on it: Lottery Withdrawal Station. Yoonji feels confused, wondering what this is supposed to mean. She thinks this is clearly an ATM, yet the system suddenly begins scanning a barcode, checking what appears to be her lottery information. She stares at the machine in disbelief, questioning what is happening. When something comes out of the slot, she picks it up, wondering what it could be. It turns out to be a lottery ticket. She does not understand why it is even there, and assumes someone must have left it behind. Suddenly, the lights in the ATM room turn off. Fear rushes through her, and she quickly tries to leave, terrified by how abruptly the lights have gone out. Her eyes then dart back to the lottery ticket. She knows she should put it back, but the ATM room refuses to open. With no other option left, she ends up bringing the ticket with her. She checks the back and looks at the expiration date. When she sees that it expires today, her heart skips a beat. She starts scratching the ticket. The first result is another losing ticket. She wonders what the point of scratching these is if they are all duds anyway. Still, she scratches the last one, and this time it reads, 5th prize, day 4. Confused but curious, she searches it up. The information says that even if no one believes in an unscratched lottery ticket, it is still worth giving it a shot, just like how people have to buy a ticket first before they can win anything. This makes her feel a little happy. She lies down on her couch, clutching her cash, thinking that she wanted to believe in something, but in the end it was probably just a dumb advertisement. She assumes she is stuck being broke for another day. With that thought, she falls asleep on her couch. As she sleeps, the D4 ticket quietly begins to glow. The next morning, she jolts awake and immediately realizes she is in trouble. She is supposed to be traveling, and her stream is meant to start at 12. She panics, wondering why she is only waking up now. Knowing she has no time to waste, She rushes to prepare for her mukbang. She starts the stream in a hurry, apologizing to her viewers for being late and trying to get everything ready as quickly as possible, hoping they will wait just a little longer. Suddenly, a donation of $202,000 appears. The donor asks who she is. She reacts in shock, confused by the question, as she believes she is simply an unscratched lottery streamer. Another donation of $202,000 follows, once again asking who she is. She still does not understand what they mean, insisting in her mind that she is just an unscratched lottery. At that moment, her eyes widen. When she looks at herself on the camera, she freezes. The reflection staring back at her is different. She herself is taken aback, unable to immediately process what she is seeing. Seeing herself on the camera shocks her so badly that she ends up dropping the chicken legs onto the floor. Her hands tremble as she rushes to check her computer, and in the chaos, she abruptly ends the live stream. The moment it stops, her strength gives out and she falls to the ground. Lying there, she looks at herself again, staring in disbelief, wondering who she even is now. She quickly searches online for sudden weight changes, her mind racing. She notes that things like this only happen in webtoons and fictional stories. Still, her thoughts turn serious, and she considers that a sudden change like this could be caused by a severe health issue. Thinking logically, she questions whether it even makes sense for something like this to happen overnight. The fear grows stronger, as she wonders if she is actually suffering from some kind of serious illness. Her phone slips from her hand as the terrifying thought crosses her mind that she might have a terminal disease. The scene cuts to Seo-jin, calmly going about his day. He is hosting a live stream and shares that today he will be making a cake that looks beautiful and tastes delicious. He starts by placing a pre-made cake sheet into a prepared container, explaining that since it is going to be crushed anyway, it is fine if the shape gets messed up. He gently crushes the cake, then grinds cookies into large crumbs. After that, he presses marshmallow cream onto the crushed cookies, shaping it into a round form, and molds it together with caramel and chocolate. With that, the cake is complete. He proudly shows the result, stating that it looks good and tastes good, and encourages everyone to try making it themselves. He then says he will see everyone in the next video and ends the live stream. After turning off the camera, he removes his mask and complains to himself that he is going to get a heat rash on his face. He wonders if he should switch to a thinner mask. He then starts collecting photos of his ridiculous-looking cake, thinking that it must taste amazing. As he admires it, he wonders who he should let taste it. Almost immediately, Yoonji comes to mind, and he decides to call her, believing she would definitely eat it. Yoonji notices Seo-jin calling her and answers, asking why he is calling. He tells her that he has made a shorts-worthy million-view cake this time, and that she is getting a special chance to taste it. He asks where she is right now. She replies that she is at the hospital. He is surprised and wonders if she is sick, but before she can properly explain, someone calls out to her, telling her that she can come into the consultation room. Yoonji quickly hangs up, saying that she has to go to the consultation room. She admits that she does not know what is happening, but she needs to get checked and hopes that it is nothing serious. Seo-jin is left slightly stunned. The thought that she might have some kind of terminal illness flashes through his mind, but she has already ended the call. He feels deeply worried. Just yesterday, she looked completely fine. He wonders if she is hiding something from him or dealing with things he does not know about. He tries to reassure himself that it is probably nothing serious. After all, she is the type who never even goes to the hospital for something as minor as a cold. Still, the doubt lingers, and he questions whether she could truly be sick. Then a sudden idea strikes him. He realizes that he could bring the cake to her while visiting her at the hospital. But just as he is lost in thought, disaster strikes. The cat has pooped on the cake, apparently mistaking it for its litter area. The sight completely devastates him. He ends up shouting in shock, staring at the ruined cake, and nearly cries as he wonders what he is supposed to do now. The idea of visiting Yoonji empty-handed feels unacceptable. The only thing left in his kitchen is plain bread, but he reminds himself that a true master never blames their tools. With renewed determination, he decides to make another cake, one that will be even better. As he works, he looks at the cake taking shape and recalls Yoonji once saying that if he really wants to impress her, he should bring a bigger, bolder cake. He knows that what he has now still will not be enough. He wonders if there is a larger container he can use. Suddenly, he remembers the custom-made container he ordered for a future video. He had never planned to use it for this occasion, but after a moment of thought, he decides that its size will be perfect for a single dessert portion. With that decision made, he begins preparing the cake again, silently wishing that it turns out delicious. The scene shifts back to the consultation room, where Yoonji is visibly distressed. She insists that the doctors do not seem to understand the seriousness of her situation. She tries to explain that she used to be heavier and weighed 96 kilograms. After being told to calm down, she clarifies that what she is trying to say is that she went to sleep and woke up with nearly half of her body weight gone. To her, this has to be some kind of disease. Whatever it is, she just wants proper tests to be run. The doctor exchanges a look with the nurse before explaining that there is nothing more they can do for her at this hospital. He decides to write her a referral so she can visit a larger hospital. When Yoonji looks over her report, she sees that it states she is neither delusional nor experiencing hallucinations, which only deepens her confusion. At that moment, a little boy behind her suddenly seems to be trying to take pictures of the back of her neck. His mother quickly pushes him away, apologizing to Yoonji and assuming he must be joking after seeing what looks like a tattoo on her neck. Yoonji is left bewildered because she knows she does not have any tattoos. The mother drags the child away as the boy cries out, saying he is just curious and wants to scan the barcode. The word barcode lingers in Yoonji's mind, leaving her uneasy. Later, back in her apartment, she rushes to the mirror and nearly collapses in shock. There really is a barcode on her body. Panic sets in as she tries rubbing it off, but no matter how hard she scrubs, it does not fade or come off. She breaks down, crying out, unable to understand what on earth is happening to her body. Just then, her phone rings. The caller is the convenience store owner. He shouts at her over the phone, demanding to know why she suddenly cannot come to work. Yoonji explains that her condition has worsened, but her boss argues back that even so, there is no one else to cover her shift right now. He presses her, asking what he is supposed to do in this situation. Yoonji hesitates, then suggests that until he can find a new part-timer, her friend could take over her shift. Her boss immediately asks who this friend is. The scene cuts to someone entering the convenience store. They are thinking to themselves that the part-timer Nuna is extremely pretty, whether it is the morning shift or the evening one. The moment they step inside, their eyes land on Yoonji, who is politely asking customers if they would like a bag. As soon as they recognize her, their eyes widen and their mouths fall open in shock. While scanning a product, Yoonji suddenly wonders if she could also scan the barcode on her own body. Acting on impulse, she tries to do so, but the scanner slips from her hand and drops. She quickly notices that one of the customers is waiting, holding out a box of donuts for her to take. The sight of the donuts triggers a memory of the last time someone gave her something like this. She initially assumes it is meant for the morning shift worker and takes it, thinking she will make sure it gets delivered properly. However, the man hurriedly corrects her, explaining that it is not for the morning shift worker at all, but for her. He confesses that he fell in love at first sight, and whenever he gets nervous, he starts stuttering uncontrollably. He had originally planned to hand it over confidently with a nod, but things did not go as planned. He admits that it might not be much, but he sincerely wants her to accept it. Yoonji is visibly taken aback. She realizes that this is the first time in her life she has ever received a gift from a customer, and truly the first time something like this has happened to her. Her honest reaction ends up deeply moving the three boys standing there. Two of them are so affected that they also start handing her snacks and food. Yoonji blinks in disbelief, wondering if they are really giving all of this to her. She bows her head slightly and thanks them, saying she will enjoy it. Eventually, she makes her way back to her floor, carrying the bag full of snacks. As she walks, she thinks that she probably will not need to worry about snacks for a while. Her thoughts drift to what she should eat for dinner, when she suddenly senses that someone is following her. By the time she reaches her apartment door, she turns around and sees a figure standing there, holding two bottles that look terrifying. The moment her eyes land on the bottles, her blood runs cold. For a split second, they look like they contain human heads. Panic surges through her. She hurriedly fumbles with her keys, knowing that she needs to get inside her apartment as fast as possible. Before she can escape, the man grabs her arm and calls out to her, demanding to know who she is. Fear and instinct take over. Yoonji turns around and delivers a solid punch to his face. The man collapses to the ground. Her heart pounds violently as she stares at him, wondering if she has actually dealt with the situation. She then notices that her clothes are soaked with something. She looks down, confused, and realizes that liquid from the bottles has spilled all over her body. Terrified, she kicks one of the strange bottles away, crying and nearly breaking down. Then, suddenly, She pauses. She takes a cautious sniff. The smell is not rotten or metallic, but sweet. It smells unmistakably like milk cream and raspberry syrup, just like cake. She looks closer and realizes that what she thought was a human head is actually made of paper. Relief and disbelief crash into her at the same time. There is only one person she knows who would make something this strange. Her gaze shifts back to the man lying on the ground. Now that she looks carefully, she recognizes him. It is Seojin, completely unconscious. The scene cuts to Seojin, lying on her couch, her body still and heavy with lingering exhaustion. When he finally wakes up, his vision clears enough for him to see Yoonji's face looking back at him. She leans into his field of view, watching closely, and checks whether he is awake, casually enjoying a slice of cake and clearly finding it delicious. The moment his eyes fully focus on her, however, they widen in pure shock. Panic takes over him as he starts shouting internally, trying to understand where he is, why this place looks exactly like Yoonji's house, where Yoonji herself could possibly be, and why his face hurts so much. She tells him not to be too shocked and calmly states that she is Yoonji herself. That explanation only makes things worse. He reacts violently, completely rejecting the idea, insisting that she is talking nonsense. In his mind, Yoonji looks nothing like the woman in front of him. The Yoonji he knows has thick, muscular arms like a bodybuilder, a belly round like a gym ball, and a face so chubby that she could roll without even realizing it. The comparison ignites her temper instantly. Anger flares across her face as she grabs her hair and pulls it tightly toward her cheeks, forcing her face into a familiar shape and silently asking whether this helps him recognize her. The sight stuns him. He knows that this is exactly how she always takes photos, carefully hiding her chubby cheeks with her hair. Now that he looks closely, really looks, realization dawns on him that she truly is the same girl. His shock slowly shifts into disbelief and curiosity. He begins questioning her life, her job, and whether she is still a YouTuber. He asks about his roommate, only to learn that the roommate is gone and has been replaced by a cat adopted from a shelter, a cat with the ridiculous name of Fart Broom. Still uncertain, he presses further, testing her with a secret he never wanted anyone to remember. Without hesitation, she exposes it. She recalls how his toes are as long as his fingers, and how, when they were kids, she used to tease him by saying that with a little practice he could write with them. She remembers how he cried his eyes out because of that. She continues mercilessly, reminding him of the time he tore his pants while jumping over a wall in front of his crush, only to walk all the way to class with toilet paper stuck to his pants without noticing. At that point, he completely breaks down and desperately tries to stop her. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, there is no longer any doubt left in him. She is really his friend. He believes her completely and silently begs her to stop exposing his past. As his mind settles, a new fear grips him. He wonders if that is the reason she went to the hospital earlier that day, and a terrifying thought crosses his mind that she might be dying. She scoffs at the idea, utterly offended, and dismisses it as nonsense. According to the doctors, she is perfectly fine, and it seems that all her intense workouts have suddenly paid off at once. At that moment, her t-shirt slips slightly off her shoulder. Her collarbone, glowing softly, is exposed, and the sight leaves Seojin momentarily love-struck. His face flushes deeply as he panics, immediately grabbing a blanket and rushing to cover her. He shouts about a bug, using it as an excuse. Confused, she looks around, wondering where it could be. Turning his face away, he claims that it was on her shoulder and that he already caught it. She sighs and casually mentions that now that she has suddenly lost so much weight, none of her clothes fit her properly anymore. The way she looks down at her loose clothing only makes Seojin's face burn even hotter. He completely loses his composure, shouting at her to stop, insisting that she cannot behave like that. He fusses over her, covering her more securely and scolding her, convinced that she will catch a cold if she does not keep her body warm. With that, he suddenly runs off, loudly insisting that she should go back to the hospital because something has to be wrong. He declares that he is leaving and rushes out without listening to anything else. She stares after him in disbelief, wondering what on earth is wrong with him. Only then does she notice something odd. The shoes he is wearing are not his. They are not Sogun's shoes at all. The scene cuts to a close-up of a pair of really beautiful, delicate shoes. It becomes clear that he has accidentally worn them instead of his own. The scene shifts again, this time to Yoonji sitting quietly and scrolling through the internet. Normally, she would be streaming at this hour, but she knows there is no way she can go live looking like this. No one would believe it is really her anyway. Still, she hesitates. Some people might be waiting for her stream, and she feels that she should at least post a notice to explain. Just as she is about to do so, comments begin pouring in. People ask whether she is not going to stream today, whether she is quitting because she has no subscribers. Her eyes dim slightly as she reads them. She has worked on YouTube for a whole year, and there are people who wait just to see her brief 3-second appearance. The realization hits her harder than she expects. Then, suddenly, a notification pops up. Someone has sent her a message. It is from YouTube, recommending a live stream. The stream is about Joram. The video plays, and Joram explains that his live stream lagged, so he restarted it. He announces that it is time to taste the broth. He takes a sip and reacts with genuine amazement, declaring it incredible. Now it is time to get ready for the real mukbang. He casually says he will discard the broth ingredients, and then he starts eating the fish cake. The sheer seriousness with which he presents such a ridiculous concept makes Yoonji laugh. He confidently states that it is, as expected, a flavor that never fails, and proudly adds that he had another solid meal today. With that, the stream goes offline. Watching Joram's stream leaves Yoonji craving fish cakes. She wonders if she should have fish cakes for lunch today. The scene cuts to a local shop. A YouTuber arrives and greets the local shop lady, dramatically telling her that he starved himself all day just so he could come and help her close early. She greets him warmly, saying that he finally arrived, but then adds that there is a problem. A customer has just cleared out almost everything. He cries out in disbelief, asking who else could possibly eat that much besides him. The shop lady calmly points and says that the lady over there is the one who ate all that food. He cannot believe his eyes. She ate all of this by herself. He starts screaming Yoonji's name from behind her without realizing it, completely unnoticed by her. Yoonji, meanwhile, is lost in her own thoughts. She wonders if the fact that she is eating well like before means that there is actually nothing wrong with her body after all. While the boy continues his mukbang stream, a message pops up from his viewers. They ask whether the person behind him has a vacuum cleaner for a mouth. Soon, it does not stop there. People begin pointing it out more clearly, laughing and making fun of Yoonji. The boy finally realizes what is happening. He stands up and apologizes to her, explaining that he was streaming. Yoonji says nothing in response. Instead, she turns to the shop owner and politely asks to be checked out, asking how much the food costs. The boy quickly tells her to stay where she is. He says that if she is leaving because he made her uncomfortable, then he will leave instead. He asks her to please eat comfortably. Yoonji tells him that it is not the case at all. She explains that she is actually leaving because she is planning to go eat chicken. Nearby, a few kids are watching the scene unfold, completely fascinated. They whisper among themselves, thinking that she is really something, marveling at what a crazy and bold girl she is. Suddenly, they realize that the girl they have been talking about is standing right in front of them. Seeing her so close like this, one little boy blurts out excitedly that she appeared on a broadcast. Even in this situation, they think, she is still 80% herself, which only makes her more impressive in their eyes. Yoonji is left confused. She wonders if she really was on a broadcast without realizing it. The kids eagerly ask her to take a picture with them. Later, back at her home, she finally sees the video. Shock washes over her as she realizes that they uploaded it without even covering her face. Panic sets in immediately. She sends him a message, explaining that she is the person in the video, and asking him to please take it down. Only then does she notice how many subscribers he has, which makes the situation feel even worse. She wonders why she even showed up on the broadcast in the first place. Everything feels like a mess now. For a moment, she considers the possibility that someone recognized her, but she quickly dismisses it. Still, she decides that if the video is not taken down by tomorrow, she will not let this slide. The next morning, her phone starts ringing non-stop. Half asleep, she groans internally, wondering what is going on and why it is so noisy so early in the morning. As she checks her phone, she sees countless mentions and comments flooding in. People are arguing passionately, saying that it is impossible for a person to change this much. Yoonji is utterly confused and has no idea what is happening. She clicks into the guy's live stream and sees him on screen, clearly baffled as well, questioning how Yoonji could go from a fat mummy to an appetite girl overnight. Her confusion deepens. They really recognized her. Not only that, but the discussion has spread to Instagram as well. Even so, she tries to calm herself down. She tells herself that no one would actually believe it is really her. People will probably just say it is clickbait or some extreme diet trick and laugh it off. She decides it would be better not to stir things up, so she resolves to stay quiet. Unfortunately, her phone has no intention of letting her sleep. More videos keep appearing, people arguing that this is not even a webtoon, so how could a person change this much in just one day? She realizes that doing nothing will not solve this. Finally, she pastes a sticky note over her camera and starts a live stream. She introduces herself vaguely, comparing herself to a scratch-off lottery ticket everyone once knew. She explains that due to personal reasons, she may have to take a break from streaming for a while. Recently, she has been feeling very unwell. As she speaks, she starts coughing, adding that it might take quite some time before she figures out the cause of her illness. As if fate is mocking her, the sticky note suddenly falls off the camera. At the same moment, someone sends her a thank you message. She freezes, looking visibly tired as she realizes that the camera is now recording her face clearly. Panic surges through her, and she knows she has to turn the stream off immediately. To make matters worse, her mouse slips from her hand and drops to the floor. She lets out a silent cry of despair, unable to believe that this is happening. Just then, another notification pops up. Joram sends her money, along with a message of thanks. She stares at the screen in disbelief, wondering if it really is Joram. He introduces himself and explains that he has been enjoying her videos. He asks if she is doing okay, and casually suggests the idea of a collaboration stream with him, leaving Yoonji staring blankly at the screen as everything spirals further out of her control. She calls out to Joram, expressing her gratitude for his reaching out. Joram responds that he is even more grateful that she reached out, and he inquires whether 7 p.m. tomorrow evening would work for her. She agrees, adding that she can eat anything, confirming their meeting for tomorrow after the fall. She stands there, pondering the surreal situation. What on earth is happening? She's doing a collaboration with Joram, and the realization fills her with immense happiness. She wonders what she should do next, knowing she cannot just throw something together casually. As she examines herself in the mirror, dressed in oversized, baggy clothes, she contemplates whether she should buy something new, but tomorrow is too soon for that. While searching through her dresses, her eyes land on the log tree, ticker trash. She remarks to herself that she has not thrown a rat away. Suddenly, her phone rings. It is Joram. She asks if there is anything else he wishes to tell her, but she urgently interjects to inform him that she is doing a collaboration with him tomorrow. She cannot contain her excitement, exclaiming that this is incredible. At that moment, Sergeant begins shouting at her. He exclaims that everyone is already making a fuss over how this could happen in just one day, and she is only adding fuel to the fire. Yoonjin intervenes, telling him it is all right, since she has endured criticism for so long. Sergeant responds that he did not mean it that way, but she insists that since the opportunity has come, she must confront it head-on. She cannot continue hiding forever, pretending not to be herself. Now that it is happening, she resolves to seize the moment. Sergeant remains somewhat reluctant, but she dismisses his hesitation and requests that if he is not busy, he should help her out and meet her at Exit 1 station by 7 p.m., declaring that today is shopping day. She places the lottery trash outside and leaves, still wondering what she should buy. The scene transitions to her standing in front of the shop. She notices clothes that she had previously washed, items that others wear, but she had never considered wearing herself. Sojin approaches from behind and teasingly questions whether she genuinely likes that style. Blushing, she responds vaguely, insisting that she was merely looking around while waiting for him. Whatever the case, she urges them to go inside, determined to pick out something suitable for tomorrow's stream. Inside, she selects something youthful, complemented with a white-toe design. She asks for his opinion, but he recoils, utterly disgusted, shaking his head in disapproval. She is taken aback, wondering if it is really that bad, as she is accustomed to tailoring clothes to fit her body and is not accustomed to being judged in this way. Sergeant steps in, providing her with a selection of clothes to try on. Even the salesperson compliments her current attire, asserting that it suits her well. Yoonjin expresses her approval of the outfit and inquires what he thinks. He pauses and remarks that it resembles a pearl tropical-colored spring style, attempting to articulate his opinion. Joram's, she mentioned before, she says if he main personal color, spring warm tone, but she knows that she's blowing all the money she saved up today and asked to give this output in every color with, that she keep on shopping. And finally, Sergeant sits there, all exhausted because of her shopping. He thinks that no matter how much he think about it, this doesn't make sense. How can someone appeal and change so much in just one day? and she's definitely the Yoonji he know. But the more he looked at her, the more she doesn't seem like Yoonji, she says to Sergeant. Let's get out, dinner out, and ask him that what he would like to eat. Surgeon replies, fine, just anything, and that they should go. As they are walking down the street, she wonders what should they eat. Chicken, pizza, tukki. But she also wants cheese bowl too, and spicy ramen for dessert. She sings that they can have something sweet. The way she reacts is similar to the previous Yoonji, and Surgeon smiles. That doesn't even matter what she looks like. After all, Yoonji is still Yoonji back at her home. She is super happy because she seriously can't believe that she is meeting Joram tomorrow. And this is crazy because you really never know how life will turn out. She is so happy that she can't even sleep, and she knows that she have to do well in the collapse. Tomorrow she wakes up that night suddenly, and her eyes widen with terrification because she is now back, making herself wonder if she get fat again. She crashes out that how they suddenly today is the collab, and did she get fired because she ate too much last night? But she knows nowhere that can be. How did this happen all of a sudden? And she sees that what the hell, the barcode number has changed to 0. She sees that the text says that Joram said that he had bought a bunch of snacks for her to eat before the stream, the staff, and he worked hard to prepare everything. So let's do their best together. She is so worried because she knows she is crude, and what should she do? There's no way she can go looking like this. She knows that she needs to calm down and think. She started losing weight after the barcode appeared 4 days ago. That day, she got humiliated. At her part-time job met Joram and scratched some weird as lottery ticket. Suddenly she remembers that as lottery ticket, and come to think of it, she won 5th place, didn't she? And losing weight, the barcode appearance, it all started after she scratched the lottery tickets, right? It's all because of the lottery ticket. If she win again, she can go stream Joram. But she remembers that she threw it away yesterday. Outside, the little picking company is picking the trash when she runs. I'm begging them to stop for a moment. The man says to her that she is not going to find it, just give up and go home because she will catch a cold. But she replies, nowhere, it's really important, and she have to find it. Finally, she found the slotted ticket, and she goes home, scratching it internally, begging. But again, this is a mess, and again, only one is left. Even just for 1 day, please, she begs. And this one, when she sees her eyes widen, because this last one is also a miss, stares at his phone. A strange unease settling over him, as he wonders why Angie hasn't replied. One of his men suggests calling her, but Joram shakes his head, glancing at the clock. It's almost time for the live stream. He mutters that she isn't answering her calls or messages, suspecting that she might be ghosting him. He thinks that maybe they should just post a cancellation note. At that precise moment, the door swings open, and Yoonji enters, apologetic and flustered. She explains that she's truly sorry for being late, that something urgent came up, and that she accidentally fell asleep while handling it. Relief washes over Joram as he considers whether they should begin the live stream now that she's back. In that instant, Yoonji's figure shifts back to her petite form, and the staff present can't help but murmur among themselves. They exchange whispers filled with astonishment and curiosity, recalling her appearances on YouTube. Some speculate about injections that aid in weight loss, but even that seems insufficient to explain such a dramatic transformation. They quietly acknowledge that if mere weight loss were the key, she must have hit the jackpot. Her beauty now is striking, almost unreal, and a pang of jealousy creeps through them. They silently wish they could achieve something similar, and wonder whether they should inquire about Yoonji's size. Meanwhile, Yoonji reflects inwardly, a cloud of anxiety hanging over her. She recalls how, not long ago, she felt utterly doomed, believing she had no chance to succeed. She remembers the person who had helped her reach a collapse point, and how the lottery ticket from last night represented her first real opportunity, a rare stroke of luck that seemed to require no effort on her part. She realizes that now, despite that fleeting hope, she has returned to her starting point. A swirl of emotions grips those who witness her struggle. Some feel secondhand embarrassment, others pity, and a few burn with anger at the perceived randomness of her life, which, much like the lottery ticket, feels like a complete mess. For Yoonji, the path forward is clear. She cannot surrender. She believes that if she returns to that ATM, perhaps she can retrieve the lost ticket. Giving up is not an option. Her life demands that she continue striving to win, even against overwhelming odds. She scans the surroundings, searching for the familiar ATM, identifying where it should be, only to find that it is gone. Panic and disbelief momentarily seize her, as she asks the men nearby if they've seen any ATMs here. Their confused responses, telling her that no ATM has ever existed at this location, cause her to collapse to the ground, the weight of lost opportunity crushing her spirit. Any hope of winning seems to vanish, along with the vanished ATM. Then, a sharply dressed, slightly stout woman appears, her frustration evident. She vents about the lack of updates despite high monthly fees, complaining that she had scheduled her transaction with care, only to be met with incompetence. Her gaze meets Yoonji's, and for a moment, a silent recognition passes between them. She inquires if Yoonji is the person from Carrot Market with whom she was supposed to trade the bag, only to realize her mistake and apologize. The woman proceeds to tie her hair, feeling the oppressive heat and noticing the sweat pooling under her arms, transforming her armpits into something akin to a water park. She mutters to herself about how gaining weight is a problem. Yoonji notices that the woman has a barcode as well, and a flicker of recognition crosses her mind. She asks the woman if she is a slattery, and the question causes the lady's eyes to widen in surprise. Yoonji then attempts to inquire about a lottery ticket, but the petite woman freezes, her mind suddenly recalling that someone had forcibly taken a ticket, leaving it out in the open. Panic flashes across her face. If anyone sees them together, they should just run. Yoonji tells her that she has something to ask, trying to calm the tension, but the petite woman shakes her head vehemently. She drops her bag and bolts away, fully aware that if her slotted tickets end up in Yoonji's hands, her life will be in complete disarray. She knows the value of what she possesses, and there is no way she will allow it to be taken from her. Yoonji sprints after her, calling out that she forgot her shopping bag. In her haste, the petite woman trips over a stone and falls. Yoonji rushes to her side, concerned, asking if she is all right. The lady scrambles up, desperation overtaking her fear of embarrassment, and begs Yoonji, explaining that she does not even have a single cent to her name, not even an as-slotted ticket. She implores Yoonji to take it back and sell it instead, emphasizing that if she loses it, she will have nowhere to survive. Yoonji tries to reason with her, explaining that there might be a misunderstanding and that she had only intended to ask about the ATM location. The lady's panic does not abate. She snaps that Yoonji could have simply checked the community for that information, questioning why she would even concern herself with the membership fee. Yoonji, puzzled, thinks to herself that she had already begun using it a few days ago, so she has no idea what the woman is referring to. The lady scrutinizes Yoonji, convinced that she is not the woman from the post. To her, Yoonji must be a complete newbie, utterly clueless, which casts doubt on any possibility of a resale. She cannot fathom how Yoonji could have come into possession of what she holds. A fleeting thought crosses her mind. Should she try scamming the woman for a letter? Her phone is still in the shopping bag, untouched. She turns to the dealer, apologetic yet resolute, and states that she doesn't think she'll be selling it. If anyone truly understood its worth, they would realize there is no reason to sell it so cheaply. The petite woman interjects, asserting that Yoonji doesn't even know where the ATM is, so she will take her there. She suddenly demands $1 million to reveal the location. Yoonji feels a surge of anger and confusion. Who charges $1 million just to give out a location? She opens her mouth to protest, but the woman's reasoning strikes her. Nothing in this world is free. Without her guidance, Yoonji has no way of obtaining any as lottery ticket. Realizing she has no alternative, Yoonji reluctantly agrees. They head to the West Bank, where Yoonji notices that the balance stands at $680.300. She explains to the petite woman that her part-time salary hasn't arrived yet and proposes giving her $400,000. Without her money, the woman would have nothing and wouldn't need to sell the bag either. The woman scoffs inwardly, baffled by Yoonji's reasoning. Selling the bag would yield far more money than Yoonji is offering. She sees her phone flooding with messages. Someone pleads for a luxury bag because all their friends have won. Another suggests splitting the proceeds with gift vouchers. Yet another asks if they could rent it instead of buying. The onslaught of requests makes her lose faith in humanity, leaving her no choice but to put it up for sale, though she barely even used it. Having no other option, she counters Yoonji's offer, demanding $500,000 and agreeing to check the ATM location. A new location pops up on the system, and the woman urges Yoonji to hurry and withdraw the money. At the ATM, the system instructs them to scan the barcode. Once verified, Yoonji realizes how little $500,000 truly is. It can barely buy a few tickets. She asks the woman how much one ticket costs, and the reply is $40,000. Confused, Yoonji calculates that if she reserves $80,001 for food, she can only spend $100,000 on tickets. The woman, poised and determined, prepares to leave, but Yoonji calls out, asking her to wait. She recalls seeing the ATM locations on the map and wants to know which app provided them. The woman turns back, her eyes sharp, and asks how much Yoonji will pay. Yoonji apologizes for asking. The woman then relents, offering guidance. There's a cafe, where as lottery users share information, easy to find online. Upon signing up, she must enter the first 5 digits of her as not precedent number, gaining access not only to ATM locations, but to a wealth of other tips. She explains that she's sharing this as thanks for returning her money. Now they are even, in Yoonji's eyes, as if all the gods in existence have balanced the scales. Finally, the ATM begins its process. The system counts down, instructing her to wait. It issues her lottery tickets, and she silently pleads for them to work this time. Out of the 2 tickets, one emerges victorious, earning her 4th place. Before she can savor the moment, someone arrives, informing her that the live stream is about to start. They rush to the studio. Meanwhile, Joram sits in his office, eyeing a bag with a vague sense of unease. Someone enters, asking if he is ready for the live stream. He agrees to start slightly later, noting that half the viewers haven't even tuned in, but his assistant insists it would be best to begin on time. Joram's mind races. What is happening?